Joining us today on MSUEagles.com, the head men's basketball coach at Morehead State, Sean Woods, and we're here in Nashville, Tennessee for the annual Ohio Valley Conference Basketball Media Day. And Sean, I would assume a chance to see some old friends and meet some new ones down here.
Well, no doubt about it. Anytime you get a chance to, meet all your colleagues, especially in the same league, is always good to talk about how things are going in their camp and their what they got going on and things like that. So, Coach Green and I go a long way, so, it's good to see him.
I know you had a very successful ending to your time at Mississippi Valley. I remember you being at this event last year with lots of new faces and names to learn, but you seem a lot more comfortable today kind of going through the conference one time and knowing the personalities and the teams and what each program can bring to the table.
Well, anytime you go into something new, especially new conference, you meet new coaches and things like that. And, the good thing about this conference is some great guys as coaches. So, we all get along great and we all got the same common goal, but they're all good people also.
I've heard you say multiple times you think the strength of this league as a whole is pretty good, and hopefully the NCAA would consider putting multiple teams in the NCAA tournament in the future. But just kind of speak to that grind day in, day out. You've got two very challenging conference games typically on Thursdays and Saturdays when you get into league play.
Well, no doubt about it, and I'm sure every conference can say that, but I'm just talking about my conference because I'm in it. I think the OVC is one of the most underrated conferences in the country. And as you can see, you got 3 NBA guys coming out of it, and actually a fourth, guy who's going to make the dream team in Kenneth Fareed. So, you got to tip your hat off to some of the coaches in this league from a recruiting standpoint, because there are some great players, and great coaches aren't great coaches without great players. And I think the coaches have done a great job making this league great with their recruiting deals.
We were talking off camera a few moments ago about the challenging non-conference slate, and I think coaches can throw that around pretty much every year, but this year when you really look at what you have ahead of you, and maybe I shouldn't be talking about that because you don't want to think about it any further in advance than you have to, but the UCLAs of the world, the Tennessees, the Xaviers, Southern Miss, Marshall, you guys are going to have your hands full, but hopefully that'll prepare you for a tough, challenging OVC schedule.
No doubt about it. We're going to have to our skin's going to get roughened up real fast, but we got to take advantage of it. Hopefully we can come out of it injury-free and learn from it and going into the OVC.
We spoke with you a few weeks ago about the beginning of preseason practice, the NCAA kind of changing its bylaws, if you will, and allowing you guys to get going in late September. Has that been helpful to your group so far?
It's been very helpful because we got about 8 to 9 new guys, and getting them acclimated has been a great deal. Only thing you had to worry about is if you're going to go hard early, you got to worry about some injuries. But we've had some injuries. Hopefully they're gone, and we're getting healthy right at the right time. So it's kind of worked out for us, I think, quite well.
You've told me a few times previously that you like your senior class. You've got Chad Postumus, you've got Drew Kelly and Bakari Turner, 2 guys that you brought with you to Morehead State, and one holdover, but Drew's been in Division I basketball a long time. Just kind of speak to their strengths, both on and off the court, and the expectations you have for those 3 guys.
Well, the expectations are high. They've been in our program, in our system for a year. They know how hard you got to play. They've learned the dribble drive enough to where they've become great leaders to the new guys, and that's been a great help. Chad Postumus, his size and strength, hopefully and he's had a great summer. They all had great summers, but Chad, hopefully he can pose his will and his strength on the opposing teams. Drew Kelly has had the best offseason that he's ever had in his life. He's dropped about 35 pounds. He's down to about 230 now, from last year being about 260. And Bakari Turner's worked on being just consistent, and I thought he's done a great job. He's been banged up a little bit, both he and Drew, but they're both healthy now, and practice has been quite well the last week. But it was kind of rocky the first couple of weeks because we were just depending on new guys to really carry the load in practice. So now we got our leadership back, and things are starting to go smoothly now.
One guy who's been able to get some headlines here in the preseason is Angelo Warner, now in his 3rd season at the Division I level, Morehead State, and I know you're excited about him and the other guards that you've brought in who could help from the backcourt.
No doubt about it. I think Angelo has an opportunity to be one of the better guards in this conference. They picked him preseason 2nd team, which I thought was good. But I'm looking forward to Angelo having a great year this year, along with Kareem Story and Brent Arrington in the backcourt with him.
You mentioned Brent Arrington. You also brought in Karam Mashore, 2 guys who were able to practice last year but had to sit out in terms of being Division I transfers. How helpful is that season where they have to just practice with the team and be part of it but can't play as it relates to their future, kind of knowing your system and guys who, at least Brent, played for you at Mississippi Valley as well?
Well, it gave Brent an opportunity to grow. It gave Karam an opportunity to just see, coming into a new system, to actually learn and without having to play. Unfortunately, right now, he's kind of banged up with a back injury, nerve injury, but hopefully he'll be back in the next couple of weeks. But both of them have, really seized their opportunity of getting better, sitting out last year, and we're expecting great things from them.
You took the job a couple years ago, late spring, and I know things were really rushed your first year, but this second year in terms of recruiting and being able to spend time, I know you have some relentless assistant coaches who are very good at recruiting, and I know you're excited about the amount of talent you brought in with this newcomer class.
Well, we have, and our assistants did a great job recruiting, no doubt about that. And as far as our class is concerned, it's very, very talented, but we're all new, so it's going to take us a while to actually gel a little bit and get to where it's a fine, well-oiled machine. So, but the good thing is we do have pieces to work with.
You alluded to this a little bit earlier, but at this point in the preseason process, give us kind of one area that you're most pleased with, and then one area you'd like to continue to work on as we head into this first exhibition game.
The area that I'm pleased with is our basketball IQ. The area I'm not pleased with right now, as any coach in the country, is defensively we're not where we need to be, but nobody is where they need to be at this stage in this stage in the year.
You had a visit recently with the OVC officials coordinator, Curtis Shaw, came to campus. I know the NCAA is tweaking some things this year, and I know that's something that your guys will have to be aware of to continue to play really good defense, but try to stay away from fouls.
No doubt about it. Last year we led the country in fouls, but I think we got better athletes, better defensive players who have better basketball savvy this year. And we just got to continue. It's going to be rough for everyone around the country with the knick-knack fouls, the arm bars and things like that. But, hopefully it doesn't hurt us too bad to where it has some key guys on the bench and we're struggling. So our main focus is keeping our key guys, on the floor, out of foul trouble, and adjusting as fast as possible with these new rules.
You mentioned your staff. I know you're pleased with their efforts on the recruiting trail. You're obviously the face and voice of the program for a reason, but I know that you're really happy to have those men working with you and for you, and guys like Dylan Howard and B.J. Ellis and Bo Braden and Martise Moronis back, and then you've added Jonathan Maddox to your staff as well. But a good situation with a lot of good guys, good basketball people too.
No doubt about it, and you're only as good as your staff, and I think I got one of the best staffs, in all of college basketball. So that's the reason why we've been successful. They're relentless. They have my attitude and my passion for working, and that's why we get along so great, and we've had success thus far.
I know at points last year you talked about selling the sizzle and trying to get the fan base energized. At periods last year we had some good crowds and some energy, but I know you want to see that consistently and try to make Johnson Arena one of the toughest places in the OVC to play.
No doubt about it. We're only as good as our fans, and they're the ones who create the excitement, and they're the ones who get us going. So, I'm speaking to everyone out there in Morehead State Eagle land. We need you, and I promise you it'll be worth your while coming to watch the Eagles this year.
I wanted to ask you finally, Coach, about the national TV exposure that your program is going to receive this year. You've got a minimum of 5 games on national platforms with ESPNU and Pac-12 Network and Fox Sports 2 and some other stations, but how crucial is that to recruiting and the current players and just kind of getting the word out about the program and what you're trying to do?
It's big in recruiting because every kid wants to play on television, and we have an opportunity to play 7 or 8 games nationally or regionally, so that's unheard of for Morehead State, and we're going to continue to try to seize the sizzle and continue the sizzle.
Very well said. Sean, we wish you and the team all the best, and we'll be checking in with you again soon. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me.